Welcome everyone to NeuroSpark, where brain science and faith find its feet in everyday relationships. In today's episodes, we're talking about how well-meaning spiritual language can sometimes get in the way of real growth and healing. Specifically, we're looking at what happens when someone uses religious cliches as a spiritual defense, and how you, as a friend, leader, coach, or even a counselor, can help them gently move beyond the defense and into a deeper, more authentic transformation. Let's start here. Suppose someone gets cancer diagnosis, and immediately what do they say if they're from the church? Well, God's in control. It's all going to work out. Or maybe, this is spiritual warfare, Gregg. I just started this Bible study. I'm getting back on track, so this attack makes sense. Now, are those things wrong? Not necessarily. But they become defensive strategies that block access to real emotion, real pain, and the very healing relationships that they need. From a neuroscience perspective, when someone uses spiritual language to bypass the emotion, it often indicates that the brain is overwhelmed. The limbic system is lit up, and the person unconsciously grabs the most comforting, familiar tool that's available. It's a belief that numbs or explains away the pain. So how do we spot a spiritual defense? Well, you'll notice a number of different patterns. First, the person quickly shifts from pain to praise. Second, emotions are minimized, dismissed, or even spiritualized. And third, they speak in generalized faith cliches like, God's going to fight my battle. The battle belongs to the Lord. I just have to have more faith. I just have to have more prayer. And all of these phrases seem like hope, but they often act more like armor than an anchor. So what do you do if you want to help somebody? Well, first, you don't confront the faith, you honor it, but you gently invite them into a deeper layer of their own humanity. And so here's what that might sound like. Man, I can just hear how much your faith is anchoring you right now. And I also wonder, what would it be like to just name a bit of that fear or sadness that might be going on? Or, hey, you tend to be the one offering encouragement to others, and I like that. But I wonder what it'd be like to receive it maybe even right now from me in the middle of something that's so hard. These kind of phrases allow the person to stay rooted in their faith without bypassing the necessary pain, fear, grief, or the vulnerability that they're experiencing, because all those things just seem too hard to admit. So remember, the Psalms are full of complaints. Jesus wept. Paul despaired. Biblical faith is not about avoiding pain, but instead it's about inviting God and his family into it. In fact, neuroscience shows that naming emotions reduces their intensity. And in addition, the very act of expressing that vulnerability in safe, close relationships activates the ventral vagal state, calming the whole nervous system down and opening the brain to new meaning and connection. If someone seems to be spiritually defensive with you, that's okay. It's often their go-to solution that they can do in the moment. Your goal isn't to break the defense. It's to befriend it until it softens. Know that spiritual defenses don't usually allow for some immediate breakthrough, unless you're Jesus and think about the woman at the well, but they allow for a small opening where you can connect deeply with them. And that's enough. That's enough to start there. So spiritual cliches aren't the enemy. They're just a doorway. And so as helpers and coaches, our role is to gently open that door just enough to let some light and love get in. If this episode sparks something in you, let me know. If you're curious about diving deeper into the neuroscience behind transformation, I invite you to consider our NeuroChange coaching certification that's starting this August. This program will equip you with the tools and the understanding to help others navigate their challenges. Just click the link in the email to learn more. And thanks for joining us today.